Good evening and welcome to the BBC News at 6. Donald Trump has defied his critics, many in his own party, by declaring a national emergency to bypass Congress to get the billions of dollars he says he needs to build a border wall with Mexico. At a news conference at the White House, he said a barrier was needed to stop an invasion of drugs, gangs, human traffickers and undocumented migrants. However, Democrats say the move is unconstitutional because the president has exaggerated problems on the border to try to fulfill a rash campaign promise, and they'll fight him all the way to the Supreme Court. But what is the truth on the ground? Well, our correspondent Dan Johnson is in San Diego on the US-Mexico border. Dan.
Donald Trump's basic plan is that by building a wall, securing the border, you can focus the drugs, the goods, the people who are crossing, whether they are criminals or asylum seekers, to points like this, the official border crossings, and you can free up border agents to focus their energy here too. But there will be disappointment from people and politicians on Donald Trump's own side that he's failed to get the $5 billion that he wanted for the wall, and his Democrat opponents are already saying that this is a manufactured crisis and an illegal declaration. I should warn you, there are flashing images coming up. This dividing line's become the defining issue of Donald Trump's presidency. It split American opinion and gridlocked government like never before.
The President of the United States.
Now there's a funding deal, but it falls $4 billion short of Donald Trump's target. So today, he raised the stakes.
We're going to confront the national security crisis on our southern border, and we're going to do it one way or the other. We have to do it. They say walls don't work. Walls work 100%. I'm going to be signing a national emergency. We're talking about an invasion of our country with drugs, with human traffickers, with all types of criminals and gangs.
These are the final footsteps of that human trafficking trail.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Los Estados Unidos, illegal.
After a 2,500-mile journey where the fence runs out, this mother and her daughter fall into the arms of US Border Patrol. My little girl is hungry, she says, and I don't have any money. And there are over 1,000 more who cross illegally every day.
It's not climbing over a fence or digging under a fence or taking a dangerous smuggling boat up the coast. It's presenting yourself at a port of entry. That's a secure border.
They say more fence frees up more agents to deal with the queues at crossings. Only limited numbers are currently allowed through to claim asylum. There's already a fence of one kind or another along a third of the 2,000-mile border.
18-foot steel slatted, concrete-filled barrier with anti-climb plates on top.
Here, it's already being upgraded and it's making a difference.
This barrier takes us significantly more time to penetrate, to cut through. It takes 10, 20, up to 30 minutes depending on the type of blade that you're using. This border barrier can be compromised in about 1 minute and 20 seconds. Before this barrier went into place, this happened every single night. Every single night this fence was cut, breached, or compromised.
So the chief here shares the president's ambition to extend this fence across these hills.
We have to have a barrier or we'll never win that time-distance game. The smugglers are using those people that they're trying to claim asylum as a distraction to overload my resources so they can run drugs in other areas. That's a huge threat. And there's a humanitarian crisis and there's a national security crisis, and they're butting up against each other.
But the numbers are way down, aren't they? When you look back 10, 20, 30 years, the problem you're dealing with today is nothing like it was.
I wouldn't say it's nothing like it was. I would say that it's changed. But that, again, is the equivalent of saying if your house is only getting robbed one day out of the week now instead of all 7, that you're done. We're not done.
Of all the forces at work here, inequality's push and pull is the most stubborn. These families will keep coming as long as they see greater security and prosperity. I'm escaping Guatemala, she says, because there are many robberies, children are kidnapped, there's lots of crime, and the police do nothing. It could take years to determine their future because the system is so backlogged.
After spending time here, it would be easy to question the president's rhetoric, his talk of a crisis and the threat these people pose. How simple
He makes a wall sound as a solution. But it's clear there is a complex game of cat and mouse being played here, and the Border Patrol agents say it is unsustainable for them and for the people trying to cross. Manpower, horsepower, all of it is stretched. Donald Trump staked so much on defending this border and seeing this fence go further. Now, it looks like this fight will go to court. Dan Johnson, BBC News, San Diego.